guys are ready.
Abigale, you were a great player, before you got here. But what's been the biggest adjustment for you, if any, that you've been at Oklahoma?
I would say definitely my hitting. I was definitely more of a slapper over at Utah, and then kind of worked in with my hitting last year. But being with JT, it's been a complete game changer, just learning like how your body moves and things like that. But yeah, I would definitely say my hitting, being able to swing the bat a little bit harder. So
you have you planting your back heel and going for it?
Yeah.
How's that adjustment been for you? And how far along do you feel like you've come hitting-wise since you got here?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a great change, and I feel like there's definitely more to improve on, but from just beginning of fall to now, I can feel a big difference in just my power and like the whip of my bat. But I feel like there's can be so much more to improve. So I'm really excited to see where spring takes me, but yeah, I'm really excited for that.
What's it been like this fall competing against Oklahoma's pitching?
Yeah, definitely different. I would say just going from a Pac-12 school to now we're in the SEC and being able to play against OU pitchers, it's been different in a sense of competitiveness. Just being able to see how the pitchers compete against the hitters, like they're in every at-bat, they're not willing to give up a pitch. And so just being able to compete against them has been really fun, and just being able to attack every pitch, but yeah.
With all the newcomers coming in, what's it been like accepting, embracing the legacy of Oklahoma softball with what they've been able to do? A lot of people are going to expect you guys to continue that legacy. It's kind of a heavy role.
Yeah, I would definitely say coming in, trying to get a 5P is an amazing thing to be able to accomplish, but also realizing that the entire team, most of us, is going to be our first. So it's kind of understanding like we are new, but being able to talk to all these past players, like having Tiare as one of our grad assistants, had just been a game changer. Like being able to hear from these people that have played and succeeded in this game has really helped us, and being able to like grow our mental game. But yeah, we kind of have to understand like who we are as a team, and being able to take away the pressure, but also living in the pressure. I think that's going to help us a lot.
You mentioned coming from a Pac-12 school. Just what was that process like of entering the portal? When did Patty, the coaching staff, reach out to you? Just was it a crazy process? Was it what you expected? Just what was that like?
I would definitely say it was crazy. From high school, at least, it was COVID, so we didn't really have that many schools you weren't allowed to go visit. And so entering the portal and being able to go to schools was a very different scenario than what it was in high school. I was super stoked and excited when Coach Gasso reached out to me, just because it was always a dream for me to play here. Since I was 10, we were playing on the field out here, and we were just always at Reeves playing in tournaments, and it was just every 10-year-old girl dreamed to go to OU. And so when I got that call, it was definitely just like all the emotions running through. Definitely a little scary when she called me to come on a visit. I was like, me? Are you sure you're on the right phone call? But just coming here, as soon as I got here, I knew this was a place for me. Just the coaching staff, like that's who I wanted to play for, and that's why I entered the portal. And so I think just being able to find where I was meant to be was really exciting.
What was your relationship like with DJ there your freshman year, and how is he similar or different from JT and his mom?
Yeah, I loved DJ. He was basically the main reason I went to Utah, so it was kind of a little hurtful when he left. I was like, oh man, but he was a game changer for me, at least with the hitting wise, which is why I love being with JT so much, because a lot of the things that DJ did teach us was from JT. So it was nice being able to come here and learn from like the person he learned from. But yeah, once he left and he went to Arkansas, it was kind of like, oh, like let's see where I can go. And then, but coming here and being able to basically be coached by his mom, like, I'm like, dang, I can see where the competitive drive comes from and everything like that. But yeah, he's the same. He does everything the same like them. He's competitive. He wants you to work hard, but you can definitely see who he learned it from.
In your commitment post on social media, you showed when you were younger and you visited. Just think about the time where softball was at that time compared like come to Love's field now.
Yeah. I think it's great that women's sports has changed so much to where we're able to have this field and facility. I mean, I loved it at 10 years old going over to Marita and being able to be in that locker room. But I mean, this place, it's insane. And I hope that one day every single facility can look like this. It's just crazy that at 10, I thought that was like insane. I'm like, that's still insane to me, honestly. Like, if I was playing at Merida, it'd be the same as playing at Love's. Like, it's just a dream come true. But being able to have this facility and being able to work with the girls that I am able to work with here, 10-year-old me would be kind of going crazy right now. But yeah.
What were some of those things that Coach Gasso and her staff were talking about with you when you were 10 years old, like to work on pretty much to get to the point you're at now?
Definitely just our mental state. I mean, they're like, just have fun. We were in Merida. I remember when I was 10, I have pictures of me inside our little like meeting room, like their meeting room in Merida. And JT was up there talking to us about hitting, and I'm like, I'm 10. I don't know how to hit the ball. Like, I'm little now, but like, imagine me at 10. And so but they were mostly, it was just about your mental, like, keep loving the game. If you become a softball player that loves to play softball, it's different than loving to like be on the softball field. So it's like, make sure that you're willing to give all the sacrifice to just loving the game and being able to like teach younger players than just playing the game because of like you're going to college. So it's like, I feel like a big thing for me was like just the mental part and being able to learn from her, someone who's coached for the last 30 years, just how important it is to love the game.
You mentioned Tiara earlier. Just how has she helped you with your transition here?
So, little backstory. I played with Tiara since my freshman year of high school, and so I've known her since I was 10. And when I first got my phone call from Coach, the first person I called was Tiara. I was like, Tiara, like, how is it? You need to be honest with me. Like, I know it's great over there. But she was a big role. So was Alyssa Burrito and me coming here. They were just my idols from when I was a freshman. They were playing on my team. And then being able to see them grow and progress the game just by being here was really helpful for me just to, like, get their insight on how OU softball is. And they had nothing but good things to say. And it's true. There's nothing but good things to say about this program. So, I mean, they definitely had a big role.
Can you talk a little bit about that Matt Buster's linkage to Oklahoma softball?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great players come out of different organizations, but, I mean, Tiara Jennings, Alyssa Burrito, those players, they came from Matt Buster's, and I got to play with them. And so just being able to, like, see where these great players are coming from, I feel like that's, like, a big part of, like, where you're going. And just being able to understand, like, who you're playing with and who you know. But yeah, I mean, it was just great to always see OU at our games, and that was like a big thing, to be able to be on a travel ball team that was good enough to have these good college coaches be at. And so I think playing on a good like organization really helped me get where I am. But
when you were at Utah, what was it like competing against Oklahoma? What was it like being in the dugout, watching them and how they handled things, how they did things? What was it like competing against OU?
Yeah, we played against them my freshman year, and I just remember I was like, guns to the wall, like, we're going. Like, you just want to play your A game against them because they were so good, and it was like, how do I play my best and beat them? And it was just like, it brought out a different emotion and player in every single girl that was on the field that day. And I think that's what OU softball has brought to the softball program in general, just like softball all over, that they have brought a different competitiveness. And just being able to see the game grow in that kind of aspect. Playing against them, it was like, you got Riley Boone and Jada Coleman, they're screaming. And like, after that day, I was like, okay, that's how I want to be. Like, I want to have that energy. I want to bring my team with that kind of just emotion. They would get on base and they're like screaming at their dugout. And it wasn't like against the other team. Like, they were excited for their team. They were excited that they got on base. And I was like, that's the emotion I want to have. And so I think they just grew the game in that type of way where it's like everyone wanted to be like them. And not more of like yeah, it was competitive and that was great, but it was like they showed what a good role would be, like what you want to be like.
Now that the roles are reversed, you're going to get those same emotions from opposing teams. How willing are you to accept that and know you're going to get everyone's best shot whenever you take the field?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to have my best, the team's going to have their best, and we're going to give our all, but I'm really excited to see how teams compete against us, and I'm ready to destroy. But yeah, I love competitiveness. I love competing. I am competitive at heart. So I'm excited to see. I want everyone's A game. I don't want anyone to give me a 50%. Like, I want to see everyone's 110%. So
You guys at Utah got pretty good. Why did you enter the transfer portal?
Yeah, my freshman year we went to the World Series. It was really exciting, one of my dreams, but I just wanted more. I wanted to be able to be with girls that wanted to compete, wanted that drive that I had. And I mean, when I went in the portal, like I said, DJ was one of the main reasons I went to Utah, and so when he left, it was kind of a little bit late my freshman year when we found out, and so the portal was closing. So my sophomore year, I was like, let's give it a try, and we went, but we barely ended up making postseason, and that's not something I wanted. I wanted to be able to know, like, I'm competing, and we're going to make postseason, we're going to play, and we're going to get to the World Series. That was always a goal of mine. So just being able to see myself in a post-game type scenario, I knew that I was going to have to enter the portal.
This program about softball, loving softball versus loving being a softball player, things like that. Where did that love of the game come from you, or how did it develop?
I feel like it's always been there. My family has always been a competitive family, and my brothers played baseball. I played softball, but it was always who's going to be the best. It had nothing to do with what sport we were playing, what thing. It was always like, oh, we're drawing? Well, who's not going to draw outside the lines? That kind of thing. And so I feel like love for softball just came for love of competing. Just my family and that kind of atmosphere. I have to all of it to my parents. They were always like, you want to play your best no matter what you're doing. If you're running, you're going to be the fastest runner. If you're, like I said, drawing, you're going to be the best drawer. Like, it was just like that. And so I think just softball in general, when I started playing, I wanted to be better at my brother than at baseball, but I knew softball was for girls, so I was like, that's fine, I'll be better at softball than you. But yeah, I think the love of it just came from competition. And I definitely found all my friends in softball just because they had the competitive mindset. So that's where my love came from.
This program offensively for a good bit has been known for power, but Coach Gasso loves to get in her car and get you guys running on the base paths. What are those conversations like in the portal as far as how aggressive she can be with you and some of the other pieces being a bit more speedy this go around?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me when I entered the portal was just about understanding that I'm also a slapper. And she was happy to hear that. She was like, I need to get slappers back in this lineup, and that was something very exciting for me to hear, just because I love hitting. You know, everyone loves to hit their home runs and stuff like that, but I love slapping. I love messing with the defense. I love getting errors more than I like getting base hits because it just messes with the defense, and then they're not ready for the next pitch. But yeah, I think that was a big thing for her and me, just understanding that this team has a lot more speed, and that we can run the bases. We got speed. We're going first to third on bunts, and I think that's something that's really exciting for her as well as the whole team, of just understanding that we can use the cards a little bit more, and just like hit and runs, bunt and runs, like those kind of things. And I feel like the home runs will come. The home runs are going to be there. They're still going to be there. But I think kind of catching teams off guard and being able to do those type of things is definitely going to be a game changer for us this year.
You mentioned some former Batbusters teammates. What's it been like to reunite with Iana?
Iana, oh, she's great. I love her. Sweetest girl in the world, but a competitor on the field. I've played with her since 10U. She would fly out from Hawaii every weekend. It was crazy. I was like, every weekend? I live an hour away and you're flying? But I love her. She's my roommate now. I love spending time with her. I mean, we both played in Utah, so we were able to see each other a couple times, but just being able to play on the same team as her, it's been insane. I love playing with her. She just brings a different level of competitiveness. I love being able to be with her at practice and just kind of learn from her. We're both lefties, both slappers, and being able to just learn from another person that I've known for so long has been amazing.
What was that rivalry like in Utah?
BYU-Utah rivalry. We actually only played in my freshman year. Oh no, we played in my sophomore year too. But obviously we beat them both times, obviously. But it's actually not as bad as it used to be just because we weren't in the same conference. But now that we are, I mean, they are. But yeah, it was pretty, every time we played them, full stands, everything. But yeah.
How helpful is you have so many newcomers, but you guys have a lot of connections prior to just like, it's not you're walking into a locker room of strangers, things like to get everybody kind of rolling together throughout the fall.
Yeah, I think it was really good over summer. We were able to talk to a lot of them. I never knew Sid Barker, never knew Audrey Lowry, but being able to talk to them over summer, saw them at some camps, I was able to click with them really well. And I also think something that Coach does very well is knowing how the team's going to mesh. She doesn't get people that she knows is going to kind of destroy the team. Like, she gets people that have similar personalities, and that shows because all of us are getting along great. And I think something that really stood out to me, I met Sid Barker after my first week of committing and fell in love with her. I love her. She was like, I was like, this is me. This is literally my person. Like, we're literally saying cup, like 2 pods from thing. And I was just like, you can tell like the people she goes for. And yeah, I think just being in fall, understanding like who we are and kind of understanding how we play the same and how we don't, and being able to make people's make people's strengths their strengths and making other people's weaknesses maybe someone else's strength. And yeah, I think that we play very well together, and I think that us being able to be together all the time, 24/7, has also helped. But yeah, being able to come to this facility all the time has really helped.
Maybe to start to wrap up, one more.
You talked about your competitive nature and kind of wanting more. How alluring, in addition to everything you talked about, the brand of Oklahoma, was the opportunity to play in the SEC, knowing what that softball conference is?
Yeah, I think the SEC, you know, everyone says that they're the best conference, but I always just wanted to be able to go somewhere with a good coaching staff. Didn't matter what program or what conference they were in, and I think I kind of always knew I wanted to play for Coach Gasso, just from when I was younger. She was always competitive, and kind of like I played for Baptisters and I played for Michael Stith, and he was the same as her. Like she's like, yeah, I'm literally the same, but she's not. She's more competitive for sure. But I kind of knew that I wanted to be around competitive people, and I knew that was here, obviously with the 4-peat, but just being able to see the difference in how they play on the field was definitely something that stood out to me.